What's up, horror fam?
You know what time it is. Let's get into this. All right, what's up, everybody?
What's up?
Got JT and Ryan from the Horror Chronicles in the house.
Back at it again.
We're, man, it's been a crazy month, man.
Great wonders.
Crazy month and a half, man. I'm finally getting all this crazy Halloween shit put down and or put away, not put down.
Put it down.
Sounds like I'm euthanizing it. Jesus. But yeah, it's just been crazy here at the Horror Chronicles studio, and we're we've been slacking a little bit, but we've both been extremely busy. But we're going to get back on par. If you haven't seen it, we've had some cool stuff going on. We now have our own website. Don't go searching for Horror Chronicles because it is officially keepitcreepy.com.
That's right.
I have no idea how the hell we ended up with that, but we got it.
The horror gods were with us.
Yeah, they let us have it. So, but anyway, tonight we've got a special guest in the house. We've actually got a director of some pretty cool, I guess you could say, slasher flicks.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Sure. We've got Director David Kerr in the house with us. Man, I hope I said his name right. David can be kind of hard sometimes. but anyway, we got him in the house. He agreed to come in and chat with us. So let's get him in here and bend his ear a little bit.
What's up?
What's up, Dave? How are you, man?
How's it going?
Good, man.
Yeah, we're just excited to get back. October's a busy month for us. We go and do on a bunch of other shows, and then we go do some like live shows at haunted attractions and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're crazy busy.
So it's just been crazy. But this is one of our first ones. What, in like 2 weeks since we put the podcast
something like that.
So we
try and do a show every week, but
2 weeks is a long time for us.
2 weeks is we got a lot of shit to talk about. But anyway, it's kind of cool. I was perusing Facebook one day and just happened to come across this. I guess you call it a one sheet for a movie called The Slasher Nurse, and I'm like, what the hell is that, man? That looks killer. So I started digging around, and I ran across this company, your company, Slasher 15 Productions. Started digging into it, and I'm like, man, I'm just going to reach out to these people and see what happens. And I did, and I'm glad you got back in touch with me because it's going to allow us to have a cool conversation tonight. So why don't you tell us about yourself and tell us about your company?
Yeah, man. I was happy that you guys reached out. Like I said before, I'm always interested in doing podcasts because, anytime that we have an opportunity to get the word out about our films and everything else, it benefits us. So never going to turn down an opportunity to come on and talk.
Absolutely.
So Slasher 15 Productions, we started out, we were horror fans. We started back in 2016. We had no experience. It was originally, it was me and my wife and a couple of my other friends, Josh and Kia. We set out to make a horror film. It originated from the idea that we had worked together with Josh and Kia before because I'm in a band and I would make music videos.
Sweet.
And I collaborated with them to make and I collaborated with them to make a horror based music video. And everyone had a lot of fun making it, and they always wanted to work together again. And what originally started out as us making another horror music video that was based off of 80s slashers eventually evolved into a film. And over the years, we've evolved. Josh and Kia, they were with us for the first two films, but then they kind of fell off, and it's been me and my wife, and then when we made our third film, which was our biggest film, which was Bloody Summer Camp, that's when we got our producers, Michael McGlynn and Jamie Wiseman, came on board. And we've just been kind of growing ever since. And every film that we make, it seems like we always find a valuable, member that, we wonder how we made films without them,
Right.
because they just become such a pivotal part of our company.
Awesome,
That's
man.
cool, man. That sounds awesome. So you're a musician.
Yeah.
What kind of music you play?
Playing rock music mainly. I've always been like alternative rock, everything from like Nirvana, Local H, Foo Fighters,
Nice.
stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
But my range in music goes all the way through pop to metal to I love Ghost. I'm into all kinds of music, but
Yeah, I'm a big Ghost fan myself. So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're a couple big metal heads. I actually play in a band too. I play for a band called LUNATIC, and we got some cool stuff coming up. But
Yes, but
But
yeah,
yeah.
Man.
I'm glad to hear. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I love metal. I've seen Ghost 3 times. I got my daughter into them.
nice.
My daughter's actually more into metal than I am. Like I said, my music is spread across a wide range, but my daughter's like really big into metal music.
That's cool. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And like, it's funny. I can't remember I was reading a quote from someone the other day just about this, and I can't remember who it was, but they said that it was I think it may have been Dio. He was talking about how there's a connection between metal music and horror.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
It's strange how much they're connected. Which is, kind of true. But it's cool. I think it's cool that you start off making music videos and then just kind of led into, the movie thing. That's awesome.
It's strange to me because back when that all went down, I had no interest in making films. I'd written before. I'd always kind of dabbled in trying to write stuff, but I started editing by necessity when I was trying to make music videos for us. This is back when YouTube was becoming a big thing, and if you were in a band, then you should probably get your shit on YouTube.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And with the first film, which was Curse of the Slasher Nurse, like I said, we were just like, hey, let's make another music video. This, we had fun doing it last time. This time, my big love in horror is 80s slashers. And so I was like, let's make an 80s slasher horror music video. And the big thing that we hated, well, I say we, but the big thing that I hated when we did the first music video was we made it a silent film. It was Charlie Chaplin versus Nazi zombies.
Sweet.
And the reason we went with that was because I always thought, silent films is the perfect thing for a music video because there's no talking at all.
Right.
But we had so much fun on set, and there was just so much funny dialogue that never got heard because it was a music video, that I was just like, you know what, we'll make a short film and then we'll cut it into a music video. That way we can kind of have both. Then that short film was like, well, okay, we're going to have to get equipment. If we're going to get equipment, there's this site called Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Let's crowdfund, see if we can get some money to raise. And then it became, well, if we're going to raise money for equipment, we might as well just make a film.
I gotcha.
And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
And more expensive and more expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, and I credit Indiegogo because if we hadn't we only raised like $1,500, maybe $2,000. It was back then. I had like maybe 200 people on my Facebook. I was not in the horror community at all. Didn't know it existed, and so we only raised like $2,000. It's basically from people that we knew. But if it wasn't for the fact that I had committed people's money, I might not have ever finished the film because, it was a nightmare. Learning shit on the fly.
Yeah.
All the mistakes, all the problems. But I was committed because I had taken, even though it was only $2,000, I had taken people's money. I knew that I have to finish this. And that's really the whole thing that kind of powered me through it. I had an editor, he dropped out. I had a couple camera guys lined up, they dropped out. So I ended up editing the film. I ended up doing the camera work on the film. And it was a nightmare. But, once we got all the way through it, once we got to the end of it and we went into the premiere and saw it, and was proud of the fact that, hey, we made it through this. I immediately kind of like, I want to make another, just because I see all the mistakes I made,
Mm-hmm.
and now I know what I would do differently. I want to do it again and see, I want to make it better. I want to see how much better I can make this film.
Right.
It just kept going from there.
That's cool.
But yeah, I never had any interest in making films before that.
Yeah.
So
we know a lot about I say we know a little bit about the Indiegogo. We've got some, we're in mid Missouri, so we've got some good friends of ours in St. Louis that are doing some indie film. It's a company called 88 Millimeter Films, and they one of the guys that works for them, one of the actors, I know him pretty well, and he's told us a lot of stuff about that kind of, the what a pain in the ass it is to get distribution and all that,
But the good thing is now is that they would say the good thing is now is that there's a space out there for people who like you who want to make movies.
Yeah,
and we can get them made. And honestly, there's a lot of good movies coming out of that.
Yeah,
more than what
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, you're 100% right. I wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and a lot of places wouldn't. And with the way studios are going, with them, canceling films and then them, dictating, so many projects just get kind of self-sabotaged by studios, having too much to do with the story. Independent filmmakers who don't have those studios telling them what to do are probably some of the last original creative ideas coming out, because this is the one market where you don't have people telling you, look, we got to recut this into a romantic comedy because we're not getting the numbers, or look, this can't be a R-rated film because we won't sell as much tickets.
Right.
So Indiegogo is the lifeblood of a lot of independent films coming out, and I hope it lasts a while. But there are a lot of problems that come with it that I'm afraid of what's going to happen in the future. I always say that we're kind of living in the golden age of independent filmmaking with crowdfunding, because of the fact that it's not really regulated by the government. They don't really have laws set in place. Indiegogo's not trying to, they really don't want anything to do with it. When you contribute, they kind of leave it up to the creator to fulfill perks. But the problem is when you get people who take a large sum of money but then never produce anything, and people don't get their perks. That's happened many times, and I think it's just going to take one big time where it's going to be a big thing, and then the government's going to step in and be like, okay, we got to put these rules in place, and this and this and this. And I'm afraid of what the hell it's going to be once that happens.
Right.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, it's still kind of independent. I mean, you can do your own thing, but there are companies out there that are going to abuse it.
You can make any perk you want. Now, they do have some regulations about you can't sell weapons, you can't sell anything monetary, like you can't sell percentages of your film. But I mean, I could come up with some of the craziest, some of the most unique perks for fans. And it's awesome to the fans because you get something that you don't get from normal films. You get to be a part of the film. You get to, you get to own stuff from the film. You get to possibly be in the film, and it's left up to us to come up with whatever perk we want to offer you. I'm afraid that, you get into dictating that, and then they're like, oh, well, you can only offer these perks, or something like that, where Once they have to start regulating it and making sure that you fulfill your perks, then it might actually limit and dictate what you can offer, and it's going to just slowly start to squeeze down on it and just make it,
make
a
it
pain
harder.
in the ass, really.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that,
Yeah.
honestly, with the way the big studios are going in Hollywood and all this bullshit, they're gonna have to eventually try to get involved with the indie stuff because that's who's putting stuff out and that's who's making movies. And there's certain things that are happening, and they're gonna have to step, or they don't have to, but it's the government. They're going to step in and freaking do what they want to do.
And what I've noticed about the indie, because we've talked to a few indie directors, and really the independent scene, these people are pouring their heart and soul in this stuff. They're doing it for the love of the genre, for the love of the film, whereas Hollywood is just doing it for the love of money,
right?
A lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you can really tell that you can see that come
really
through in the films too,
Oh yeah. When you have the original creator that oversees the entire thing, and then you see his vision, versus you have someone who actually writes a really good script, and then the producers are like, yeah, I mean, it's good, but it's not going to make as much money unless we did this. Let's do this. And then the creator's like, well, that's not what I wrote. Yeah, but we'll make more money this way. And that's usually what happens to half the fucking films. And like, why is this film shit? Because they wanted you to watch it. They wanted more people to watch it.
Right.
And they didn't care if you liked it or not.
Yeah, and the creator lost their vision in that too.
Yeah, it happens all the fucking time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
but
it's I like the indie scene, man, because there's like he was kind of like JT was just saying, kind of like, you get to see the passion in the movies again. And you can tell that people are fans of horror movies. And don't get me wrong, there are some great fucking horror directors out there. James Wan, probably one of the best.
John Carpenter.
Well, I'm talking about nowadays.
Oh, now, yeah.
Carpenter, Craven, all them, Del Toro, even some of his are freaking. But I feel like there's a lot of people like you out there who are making. You're a horror fan. You weren't never really wanting to get into making movies until you did it, and you're like, okay, cool. Now I'm doing this, and now I'm doing this, and now you're kind of seeing your vision, like he's saying, coming together, and you're like, damn, this is cool. And we have a buddy of ours who, and shout out to DA. I hope he gets better real soon. He's got some stuff going on, but he's a freaking phenomenal author, and he writes these freaking cryptid, horror novels, you'd say, like werewolves and stuff. And I would just kill to see some of his shit put into a movie, and it's like you said, like the only thing that sucks about it is like, hopefully someone sees it. Someone like you will, say someone like you goes and you make the movie, and then someone sees it and sees a potential behind it, and they can get a bigger budget and, better cameras and this and that, and turn it into what it needs to be. It's just hard to get that done anymore. And like you said, crowdsourcing is great until someone steps in and steps all over it.
And takes,
So that's just how I look at it.
Yeah, there's a lot of vision out there with the independent horror community, and like you said, crowdfunding, it gives people a voice that normally wouldn't have a voice before. In the indie filmmaking, a lot of filmmakers would have never existed. So definitely, I mean, you gotta love it for what it is. I'm cautiously optimistic, but at the same time, I'm just like, hopefully it's around 10 years from now.
Right. Right. And, I think it will be. I honestly think that I'm really optimistic about it too. And I think that it's going to be, that's more where we've talked about this before. That's more where you're going to find these movies. That's where you're going to find this good stuff, is all the indie things like that, because we don't have to worry about having a writer's block or freaking, whatever the actors want to do their things, like
all their strike bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we don't pay you enough money to make a movie.
It's like, I don't know. It's just one of those crazy things that sucks for us as horror movie fans, because nothing gets made. When Conjuring came out not too long ago, we were just like, oh man,
finally something good.
That was a great film. Like,
and it does feel like too. I felt like that with as much coming out in the indie film community, it feels like with the big studios, it's just there's nothing coming out anymore. I can't count how many times I go to look for a film. Like, there's nothing new out. There's nothing new, decent. Like, it seems like it's once in a blue moon that a fucking decent horror movie actually comes out from a major studio anymore.
Right.
Have you seen Talk to Me?
I don't know if they're just not interested in making it anymore, but
have you watched Talk to Me yet?
No, I've been circling around that one. It's interesting. I'm going to end up watching it because I've heard good things about it. And what did I watch? I watched. Ended up watching Suitable Flesh. The Joe. Shit. Oh, God damn it. God damn. Adam Green's buddy Joe. God damn, I can't think of his last name. But Suitable Flesh with Heather Graham. And I watched something.
Yeah, I just saw a preview for that.
Bodies.
Oh, Bodies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're gonna like Talk to Me.
Yeah, Talk to Me was decent.
Joe Lynch.
Yeah.
My wife just texted me, and it's Joe Lynch. Yeah.
But you'll like Talk to Me, and
I mean,
you'll like it. It's funny because so the directors and writers of that or whatever are two twin brothers. I can't remember their names right now, but they were just on Joe Rogan's podcast, and they're like ADHD, like they're out there, crazy guys. They're from Australia, and they're just it's funny the way they came up with the movie concept, because they come up with it. The way they came up with this movie concept is through literally watching people in Australia who are on drugs, like ODing or like having seizures, and their friends are just sitting there like laughing at them and like videotaping it and shit. And they're like, what the fuck? Yeah. So then they made this.
Why would you do this?
This movie I actually really love the concept of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, that's one that I want to see. It looks interesting. There's a couple that have come out. I've been getting around to them. I don't watch stuff as much as I used to, but that's one that it looks interesting. So I'm probably gonna watch it sometime soon.
Right on. Nice. So so we both watched and got a chance to watch Bloody Summer Camp, and I thought it was. I
thought it was cool, man. Some of the. I tell you what, I got the biggest kick out of, and I don't even know how you guys pulled some of this shit off. Was you had some of the coolest kill scenes in that movie? Yeah. I mean, there's a scene in there with a sledgehammer. And we don't have to get into that because
people to watch
I really don't want to.
It's because we want people to watch it. You're gonna have to watch it and see what happens.
You're gonna have to watch it. Very cool. And the story behind that, I truly, dude, hats off to you, man. You did a killer job on that. I truly felt like, I grew up late 70s, early 80s, watching all that horror back then, and that movie really gives you that 80s, slasher summer camp feel, it was, it was almost like watching a Friday the 13th film, I mean, You got to see all that cool stuff and, all those things that we all cheered for. Yeah.
Boobs,
back in the day,
boobs.
I mean, we got to see a lot of that stuff and I got to really commend you for that, man. Cause I know it's hard to pull off.
One of the best compliments I think I ever received for that film for me was someone watched Bloody Summer Camp after they watched My Best Friend's Exorcism. And My Best Friend's Exorcism takes place in the 80s too. It's made by some studio. and they watched and they reviewed both films back to back. And they said, My Best Friend's Exorcism, they're like, I don't know what the fuck they were going for. You know, I was totally disappointed, this and this and this. And then they're like, now, Bloody Summer Camp, this is what I thought I was getting with My Best Friend's Exorcism. They're like, everything that they got wrong about the fucking 80s in My Best Friend's Exorcism, this film got right. And I was super proud of that because with we had a budget of $35,000.
Wow.
Which is incredibly low for what we had to do. And because we had to rent out a summer camp. So it was really important for us to try to get the 80s vibe. To me, that was one of the top things that we had. But yeah, at the same time, we did have to cut corners here and there. And there's just some things that we just were not able to do. But we really did try to get that 80s feel. The camp was a big selling point on that. When we saw the camp, we were absolutely in love because it had that look like it was from the 80s. All the canoes were still that old, style. Nothing looked updated in the camp. Luckily, as we were there, they were starting to update stuff. Like the wooden rafters, they were telling us, we're going to be painting this white next week. We're like, no,
don't
not
do
yet.
it. Yeah.
Like, fuck. So, So we were rushing through to film while they were constantly trying to, upgrade the camp. But the camp was a really big sell, I think, for that film as far as the overall look and everything. And as far as the deaths, my wife does the special effects for the film.
Oh my God. She did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I mean, I love the gore, but I was always also trying to having fights with her because I'm like, in the 80s, some of the deaths were off screen, and she's like, I don't care.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're showing it.
Yeah.
And I tried to sell her.
The gore wasn't over the top in it. I mean, there were a couple instances, but.
Yeah, I tried to sell the less is more thing, and she was like, "No."
Like, okay. That's awesome.
But
that's awesome.
We had fun with it. We wanted to make sure that because back in the 80s you could get away with less gore, because that's what people were accustomed to.
Right.
Nowadays, people, if you don't show at least a good amount of deaths on screen, then people are going to be, dogging you for it.
So let me ask you, how, and I'm going to jump here. How the hell did you get somebody like Felissa Rose to star in your movie?
Beg.
Dude, when I started going through it was kind of funny. I started going through when I ran across you guys on this, because what intrigued me was this one sheet for The Slasher Nurse, the movie that I would assume that's in production now, or have you completed that?
Yeah, we just finished filming. We're in post-production right now.
Okay. So when I saw that one sheet, I started, I was like, oh, let me go check it out. And then I went over to your website and I run across Bloody Summer Camp and start looking through there. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Felissa Rose. Wait a minute. And all our fans will know who she is.
Right.
She's got a very cool scene at the end of Sleepaway Camp. But anyway, so I immediately, I sent you an email and reached out to you, and then I started going through some more stuff. And dude, I was blown away when I finally got to the press kit for The Slasher Nurse. And you've got friggin' Diana Prince in there, Darcy the Mail Girl. I was like, holy shit. That's crazy, man. You got to be doing something right.
Yeah, Diana, she was I mean, don't get me wrong, I love all the celebrities that we got for this film, but she was the Felissa Rose of this film for me as far as like when we got her. I was like, I'm so fucking excited about this.
Oh, absolutely.
With Felissa, with Bloody Summer Camp, we didn't have an Indiegogo. We had a Kickstarter when we originally did Bloody Summer Camp. Because after I did Curse of the Slash Nurse, I did the sequel, Return of the Slash Nurse. And that was made for even less money than Curse. And it takes a year of my life to do those films, because from writing it to directing, producing, and then going in, I do all the editing. I'm working on it for an entire year.
Right.
And it's exhausting. It's time consuming. So after Return, I was really considering taking a break, and I was like, okay, I'm not doing a third Slash and Nurse. If I'm gonna do another film right now, I want to do one that I want to do. I want to do like a passion project. And I was like, well, what I really want to make is a 80s slasher, because we wanted to make Curse of the Slash and Nurse 80s, but we didn't have the budget to pull it off. So
I got some.
I was like, I want
here.
to make an actual. I want to make an actual slasher film from the 80s, and I wanted to be at a summer camp.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I can't get a summer camp, and if we can't get the budget for a summer camp, then I'm just going to take a break for a while. Then maybe later, maybe next year, I'll come back and do a third Slash and Nurse. So we did a Kickstarter, and we set a goal for $10,000. And it's like, if we hit $10,000, not only will we make this film, but we'll also get a horror celebrity to come on board with the film. And the way it works, though, of course, is we couldn't say who the celebrity was, because we can't guarantee a celebrity unless we have the money.
Right.
So, I can't promote Felissa's in the film unless I know that we can afford her. So all we said was, if we reach our goal, we'll bring a horror celebrity in. And once I started getting close to that goal, I started looking at, well, who the hell are we going to get? And to me, Felissa Rose was like, she was my number one choice, because it was like, who's the most iconic camp? Because we're doing a camp film.
Yes,
who's
absolutely.
the most iconic camp person? And outside of Jason, which there's several people who play Jason, you never see their faces. Felissa, you see her, you know her face.
Right.
So that's who I reached out to initially. She has a website, FelissaRose.com. They have a contact thing. I sent her an email, and like a month went by. I never heard anything back. I figured, okay, well, that's that. Well, I'm on Twitter, and Felissa's on there actively. And I mentioned Twitter. I tagged her on Twitter on a post about Bloody Summer Camp, and I said, we would love to have Felissa Rose in Bloody Summer Camp. And she wrote me. She tweeted back. She was like, hit me back. She's like, reach out to me. I was like, oh, I already sent you an email. Then I got an email back. She's like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I don't run this site, and a lot of times it takes a long time for people to get back to me. Hey, this sounds like a fun flick, and send me the information, and we'll she's like, I'm definitely interested. And so I sent her the script, I sent her everything, and she was like, yeah. She was like, I got her on the phone, and we got to talking, and she was absolutely down for it. She's like,
That's
camp
awesome.
slasher. She's like, hell yeah, I'm on board.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was just luck, I think, that we got her, the person that we wanted from the beginning to be a part of the film. And Diana was a similar thing. Diana, when we did Return of the Slash Nurse, I followed Diana on Twitter, and they had some Twitter thing going about, they were talking about there's not enough female slashers. And I commented with a picture of the Slasher Nurse, our original Slasher Nurse.
Right.
And she's like, oh my God, I absolutely love her. And I was like, well, we would love to have you a part of it. She's like, I would love to. So after we did Bloody Summer Camp, we did our last film, which was Go Away. It was an intruder film. We were gearing up to do another film called Awfully Strange Night. But that was actually taking a little bit longer to get off the ground than we were anticipating. And my wife and my producers, they've always been interested in remaking the Slasher Nurse, because compared to Bloody Summer Camp and Go Away, they're really not even in the same ballpark, because they were cheaply made, and
Right.
They were back before we had any experience. Back, we were using friends instead of actors. So they love the idea of a female mass slasher, because you don't have one. You've got badass female villains like Felissa, And you've even got masked females like in The Strangers or Tragedy Girls, but like a badass fucking just brutal fucking like Jason type leather face slasher chick with a badass fucking outfit. I mean, you just don't got that with females. So they thought, hey, this is still a relevant idea that we should look back into. So we're like, all right, well, fuck it. You know, we'll do a small crowdfunder. We'll crowdfund for $10,000 and we'll just remake this. We're not really looking into making anything big out of this. Just try to make a better film.
Right.
And fuck, dude, we ended up raising $60,000.
Holy shit.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck happened. And it took off, man. And people they seemed to really connect with it. And so we brought on Beverly Randolph. We brought Felissa back, of course. And we got Brian Bremer from Pumpkinhead. Yeah. But one of the first people that I reached out to was Diana Prince. She ended up being the last celebrity that I announced, though, because trying to communicate with her through Twitter was a long process.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even through messaging, and it's just because she gets so many fucking messages.
Oh yeah.
I'll write her sometimes. I won't hear anything back for 2 weeks. So it was kind of a phone tag type thing. But the whole time, every time I did talk to her, she was 100% on board. She loved it, and she flew in, and we filmed with her at the hospital. It's the opening scene for The Slash Nurse. It's filmed at a hospital, and she plays a nurse, and we had a fucking blast with her, and I'm so excited that we were able to get her in the film.
Believe me, I'm excited you were able to get her in the film. So I kind of want to talk about Amber for a minute.
Okay.
So the reason why I want to talk about her is, you know, I'm always really big about when I'm watching a new film or something. I look at the credits a lot and see who's in these and what's going on and who's doing this, who's doing that. And I see in Bloody Summer Camp, Amber Fulcher is doing the special effects in this. And I'm like, wait a minute, isn't she like one of the stars? Isn't she, in one of the other movies? And I'm like, holy shit, she's doing the special effects. So explain that to me.
Yeah. So like I said, she's my wife.
Okay.
She's not big into acting. She's never really been that wordy. She loves doing special effects. She was in the original 2 Slash Nurse films because, again, we didn't have actors back then. We just had friends and everything. Right. She had a couple roles. But then when Bloody Summer Camp came around, she just wasn't interested. We had actual actors, and she's like, I just want to do the special effects. Then Go Away came around, and we had a female masked killer called Pink Mask. Because we had 5 intruders that have different masks. And we had a female one, which was Pink Mask. And we auditioned for Pink Mask, and we didn't really have any auditions that we were happy with. And Amber's like, she's like, look, I think I'm just going to do Pink Mask, because she was like, we weren't really happy with any of the ones. And I was like, are you sure you're going to be able to do that and do effects at the same time? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I'll make it work. I'll do it. So she came in and she did Pink Mask. For one thing, she's not afraid to get physical. A lot of the actors that we get when they play killers, they're really, which I get it. They want to be really safe. I would say safe, but they're afraid to get a little bit physical. Even when the actors are like, "Nah, go for it." You're not going to hurt me. They still are just. It doesn't resonate well on film. Say that to the Amber's not afraid of that. If you tell Amber that she can hit you, she's gonna hit you. So she did Pink Mask, and then like I said, when we did Slash Nurse, we weren't planning on doing anything big, so we didn't even do casting for Slash Nurse. I just hit up a bunch of actors that I worked with before. Hey, do you want to be in the film? And they're just like, yeah. And then when it came to Slash Nurse, my wife is about 5'9", 5'10", so she's pretty tall. We wanted a decent sized killer. You know, we didn't want a female masked slasher. She's 5'4". So so when we were redoing the Slash Nurse, the first thing I asked Aaron was like, do you want to be the Slash Nurse? And she's like, I don't know. She's like, I'm kind of thinking about it. She's like, I'm not sure. But ultimately she decided to do it for that same reason. It's like she's got the height, so she doesn't look tiny compared to the other to the guy actors. And I knew that if I had her do it, I wasn't gonna have to worry about her faking the hits and them not looking realistic on camera. So that's why she's likely not going to be in any starring roles where she's talking anytime soon. But when it comes to playing a bloodthirsty killer that doesn't talk, she's all for it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right. So, and she is the one in Curse of the Slasher Nurse. She's the girl that doesn't talk.
She's not the nurse. Well, no, actually. So in the first two, she wasn't. I'm not spoiling anything with that, but in the first two, the Slash Nurse was played by our friend Kia. Remember, I told you when we first did this, Josh and Kia were attached. So Josh played one of the main characters, and his girlfriend Kia played the Slash Nurse, and she was the Slash Nurse in the first two, and Amber actually played the sister of the Slash Nurse.
Okay.
Amber was she was
the blonde.
She played a character. She had some lines. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I gotcha.
That was her. So, but she didn't like doing it. She didn't like the whole acting aspect of it. That's why when Bloody Summer Camp came around, she was like, I don't want to act. I just want to do special effects. But when it comes to doing the masked character, she doesn't mind it as much because she enjoys, playing killers and just being able to do the body acting.
Right. I gotcha.
Well, there's a lot to that too. We talk about it often with like Halloween, Michael Myers. It's all about the ambiance and atmosphere that you create with just your body, just the way you move.
And that was the problem that we found on Go Away. Because the auditions that we had for the masked killers, you couldn't talk. It was these girls were sending us auditions of them doing pink masks, but it was all interpretive of how they acted. It's just none of them seemed like it was working out, and that's when Amber I still made her audition, which I don't think she was happy about, but I still made her do an audition tape for Pink Mask, and I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, yeah, yours is the best take. So I was like, if you want to do Pink, I'm all for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So when are we going to get to see Go Away?
So Go Away is out a little bit. That's a weird answer, but
well, I get it.
So. Go Away did premiere in June. It premiered in our home in our state. It's actually played in Texas, one place in Texas. I think it played in Kentucky, and it played in Ohio most recently. And we did fulfill crowdfunding perks. Like we did, we had some Go Away, DVDs and Blu-rays that went out, and so it is out in a limited capacity right now.
Okay.
As far as being out like publicly, what's happening with the film is I always release 2 different versions of the film. If you contribute to our crowdfunder, you always get a different version of the film than the public gets. Like Bloody Summer Camp was the extended edition that came out for our backers, and they have a copy that no one else has and no one will be able to ever have, because what happens is we make an extended cut. Yeah, we make an extended cut for our backers, and then then we cut it down to a standard edition, and that's what we sell to distributors. But then once we sign a contract with distributors to sell the standard cut, we are forbidden from selling the extended cut because we can only sell the cut that they own.
Gotcha.
So like the Bloody Summer Camp extended cut, we have a 10-year contract with our distributor. So you won't be seeing us sell that version for at least another 8 years.
Wow.
And so Go Away, not only is Go Away technically an extended cut, but also after watching it in theater and watching it a couple times, I went back and I re-edited the opening and I re-edited a couple other scenes. I actually have someone who's rescoring part of the film because when we re-edited it, we had to change the score up to accommodate for the changes of the length of the scene and everything. So I'm almost done with this re-edited version, and once I'm done, that'll get sent off to distributors. Someone will likely pick it up, and then a few months down the road, it'll be released publicly. So it should be out publicly in hopefully early 2024.
Okay.
And that'll be the completely different cut of the whole opening scene has been re-edited.
Gotcha. Yeah, because when I got on your website, I was like, oh, you can actually buy this and you can buy this. But I'm like, okay, where's Go Away? And it's not on here. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe they haven't released it yet.
I mean, I do have a couple copies left from the crowdfunding. It's only DVDs, though. We sold out completely of the Blu-rays.
Right.
But yeah, I do have, I think, like 10 copies of the DVD left. But yeah, that's it.
Where's my wallet?
I tell everyone, once they sell out, they're gone.
Yeah. That's cool.
But,
yeah.
And that's the benefits of crowdfunding. The people who contribute to our crowdfunding, you get to see the movie months in advance.
Right. Absolutely. And just looking at the list of, people in this Go Away, you got Tom Matthews in there, a lot of people will remember him from, of course, Return of the Living Dead.
Oh yeah.
Among other things. I mean, he's been in a lot
Friday
of stuff, but
Part 6.
Right.
Yeah, he's Tommy Jarvis in Friday the 13th Part 6 too.
Yeah.
Tom. So Tom was our big one for Go Away. Tom was the one that was like we were cheesing over.
Right.
Tom's amazing. He was really, really awesome we almost got him in a small part for Slash Nurse, but it was actually Never Hike Alone 2 kind of fucked that up because the Tom that we would have been able to film with him, he was resuming filming for that. He was doing that. But yeah, we love Tom and hopefully we'll work with him again in the future. He's a really great guy. It's
awesome, man. It's cool to see these actors, coming on to these indie movies and help and doing stuff like that. It's really cool. Cause I know it sounds, kind of dickish, but it's just good to have someone who knows what they're doing. It adds to that movie,
Well, and it's that recognizable face, I mean, it just, it's cool.
That's just like,
you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's nice to have someone on set, who is recognized by fans and also, like you said, also knows what they're doing. And the thing is, if you want a better chance of selling your film, I mean, they say it over and over. It's a sad thing, but names sell.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The most popular name that we can get is our best chance. That when we sold Bloody Summer Camp, I had to make a sell sheet. They gave me a sell sheet to fill out where they wanted to know the actors in the film, and they wanted to know how many followers they had on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
Because that's something that they share when they go to the streaming services. That's something that they have to boast about. So I mean, I was really excited about Diana because Diana's got like fucking 150,000 followers on like Instagram, and I think like 100,000 on Twitter.
Oh yeah, easily.
So,
easily.
she's got a she's got a hell of a social media presence, and she fans love her because why not? She's fucking amazing to everyone. She's like Felissa Rose in that sense where you don't hear a bad thing about her because she's always just fucking amazing to fans.
Right. Well, and and you look at her and she's of course she's a beautiful woman, but she is a diehard horror fan. I mean, she truly loves all these horror movies. I've been following her on Twitter for years, and dude, she's always on there talking about horror and stuff.
Who else is like that too? Danielle Harris.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is big into horror. Like, I follow her and their podcast too and stuff like that, but they're big in the horror.
Scout, yeah.
Hair and Scout, yeah.
Scout, yeah. Yeah, they've got a pretty good show.
But like,
yeah, those people that resonate with the fans, man, they're definitely big for getting people to watch films because they find out that they're in this. They'll watch it just because they're in it.
Right.
And that's amazing.
Yeah. One of my big takeaways from, unfortunately, and I'll apologize, the only thing that I've really got to see all the way through was Bloody Summer Camp. And, my takeaway from that is a horror fans movie. That's a movie that you can tell was created by horror fans for people that love horror.
Yeah, what's funny about it is that like it was probably just me, but anyway, but like I was pulling like inspiration that I'm like, oh, that guy reminds me of this guy in this movie. This guy reminds me of this guy in this. So like, the wheelchair guy kind of reminded me of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or
yeah.
And like I was just
Friday 13th Part 3.
Yeah, Friday 13th. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But like I was like, that reminds me of that.
Was it Franklin? Is it Franklin?
Franklin, yeah.
Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Heavy inspiration on that one. That obviously when we went into this, we weren't making anything that was completely new. This was something that was supposed to be a love letter. It was supposed to be, fuck remakes. I just want another fun slasher film.
Absolutely.
But I know that I'm not creating something new here. I'm giving people another chapter in something that they love. And so that's why we wanted to give a lot of inspirations to all the stuff that we were inspired by. All the reasons that we were making this film are in that film because it was inspired by all the Burning, Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp. We took inspiration from all those films and we didn't try to hide it. We embraced it.
Well, that's the point. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I 100% caught myself, as a horror fan and, that's going to be the people who watch this movie. I caught myself. I'm like, oh dude, that reminds me of this. Oh dude, that reminds me of this, and that's what you want. You want something that brings that out of you. So I thought it was really cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to give subtle things. I mean, even the caretaker. I mean, I kind of feel like it was a failed Easter egg, but we tried to dress him up like Stephen King from fucking shit. What was it? The one with the meteor. And the green shit.
Maximum Overdrive.
Part.
Oh, no. Jordy Verrill from Creepshow. Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
The legend of Jordy Verrill.
Yeah, we went with the similar plaid, and we went with the overalls because we wanted to kind of give that when we were trying to decide how we were going to make him look. He's like, well, what's he going to wear? Well, fuck it.
Right.
Let's dress him up like Stephen King, just for fun.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Like I said, I think you guys killed it, dude. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was a fun watch, man. Definitely a fun watch.
So where can go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm really proud of it. I really enjoyed it because, like I said, that was the passion project for me, and I was just really happy that I got to make it.
It's awesome, man.
That's
So
cool.
where can our people find you and maybe help out with some of the movie stuff, all that stuff? Where can they?
Yeah, so as far as my social medias and the /15, we have a Facebook page /15 Productions. We're on Instagram /15 Films. On Twitter, we're actually at Bloody Camp. And then we have /15.com. And we are currently doing a final crowdfunder for the Slash Nurse, because we're done filming. We're actually in post-production, but there's still a chance for you to contribute and get like a pre-order of the film and everything. But that link is you can find it on our social medias. I mean, I could give you the link, but no one's gonna remember it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But
Right.
like you can find it. You can find it on our Facebook page. You can find it on any of our social media pages.
Awesome, man.
Hell
Yeah, guys,
yeah,
go
man.
out there and check it out. Definitely watch
Bloody Summer Camp.
It was freaking.
Honestly, watch all three of the films that are out now. They're doing some cool shit.
If you
over there,
watch
man.
the first two, just if you watch the first two, just remember, we had no experience with the first two films. First one's pretty rough, but the second one, if you watch the second one, you'll at least see we got a camera guy, we got some better equipment, we started to grow as a company.
Right.
And Bloody Summer Camp is definitely that's where we finally started to kind of make our own.
It's awesome.
Kind of
man.
come into your own groove.
It's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
Definitely check them out. Support if you can. We'll say bye to you once we get done with our little outro here on the other side. So, but yeah, guys.
But yeah, Dave, thanks for coming and hanging out with us tonight, and we'll start promoting you over here on our side, and hopefully get some people going your way.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. All right, well, don't go away. We'll be right back, man.
All right. That's
Dude,
the
that was
show.
cool, man. Dave's a cool guy. Fun to talk to.
You guys should definitely help them out. Check
He's
out
got
everything.
some cool stuff going on out there. I mean, I'm telling you, you guys got to watch these films, man. They're kick-ass. If you're a horror fan, I mean, these are movies made for people who love horror.
And plus, go support. We gotta get more support for our indie directors and stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, that's tonight's show. We love you, horror fam.
Yeah.
But more importantly, as always, until next time,
Keep it creepy.com.